reappeared 2.5 days later
Mm-hmm.
because he wouldn't have been able to stay out of the spotlight, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not, maybe 2.5 months later. We just,
Yeah.
after he healed up and everything, there's just no way he's it's just unfortunate. And the stuff that, a lot of people say there's, sometimes you speak things into existence,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's kind of any witchcraft or anything, but if you that's their power in words, and
No, most definitely. In both Big and Pac. Both Big and Pac were like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ready to die, born to die,
Yeah.
You're nobody until somebody kills you. I mean, everything was about like prophetically talking about them being killed at some point,
right.
Yeah.
And it's also, of course, it has a lot to do with what you say and what you do. You know what I'm saying? So if you're saying this type of stuff and you're hanging around shooters, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you're mingling with that stuff, well then, in fact, that would be the reason to even say that, and that's probably why. You know what I'm saying? Because all they were doing was hanging around cats in the streets, and the streets was inside the studio and all of this stuff, So, most people are smart enough to realize if that's the lifestyle you're living, you live by the gun, you die by the gun. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no doubt.
If you're hanging on the block, getting your money, you know what I'm saying? At some point, somebody's going to try to, get you,
Yeah, man.
It's not the police. I mean, these are things that are guaranteed to come with that the lifestyle. So I don't even think it's a huge phenomenon to even talk that stuff into existence if that's the life that you're living,
Yeah, and you're right about that. And I used to have this really big fear. We talked about this before, growing up in San Francisco, and having some friends, man, that it's like when you get out, you need to get out. Like you need to move on because the hood will get you. It'll catch up to you, right? And so, and there's been a couple of homies that I've had. I mean, they weren't direct homies like from where I hung out, but they were in the mission. The mission had a bunch of different sets, and so, but we knew of them, and they would come around and hang out with us every now and then. So this one, I'll just tell one story. One particular guy moves on, marries, gets a good job. He's living in Antioch. Back then, Antioch was like the suburb, right? And so he's living away from San Francisco. He's out of the game. He's over there. He's working. He's got a wife. He's got a kid. The day he comes back to the hood to go eat dinner in the neighborhood that he was, he's outside with all the homies hanging out. And that's that day, the car comes around the corner and he's the only one that gets hit.
Mm-hmm.
He's not even hanging there no more. It's been probably a couple years.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know what I mean? And so it's almost like when you out, you kind of want to kind of live that life on the out. But it's like almost like Pac kind of reveled in that. He kind of tried to even get deeper in it, especially when he went to death row. He was a part of the ass kickings they were giving,
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean, and I didn't know him personally. I only met him that one time. And when I met him, he was cool. I heard all about him through Ray Love because he used to always tell us about him. And in fact, I remember when we did run into Pac, this is something I've always cherished because when we was like, hey, Ray Love? And he looked at us, he's like, oh, y'all them crazy ass Frisco niggas he was telling me about, And that's always stuck with me. The reason why is because we were just at Ray Love's house like a few days prior. Me and my homies got into a fight with each other and shit over sleep on what. We started wrestling. Anyway, that was just some stupid shit, But he seemed really cool at that point. But everybody that has talked about him says that there are many different Pacs, and we've witnessed it with our own eyes through his growth. And you know what I'm saying? So that's but it's a shame that the revolutionary Pac got derailed. Because he was potent, Really potent. Now, you gotta evolve.
We did get many different Pacs, huh? From in the albums. I never really tripped on that. We have Tupacalypse now, and that was the revolutionary Pac, right? And then even but we did get a different Pac on Me Against the World, which is arguably my favorite album by him. You know,
yeah.
and then of course, you know, we get the Death Row version of Pac, you know, which is just him unleashed, angry at the world, you know. Wow. Go ahead, man. I'm sorry I cut you off right there.
No. It's just it's just a shame that it all went, you know, the way it went. We were talking our last episode when you were thinking that he would have been part of that halftime show. And, you know, I didn't think so, you know. Because, but, you know, I give some thought to, yeah, sure, maybe things would have been patched up and whatnot, you know. I still don't think it would have resulted in him being in that, you know, even if they were cool or not. But
yeah, well, you know, the only reason why I was kind of like, nah, I do think he would have been there is because they did a tribute. I mean, if they weren't gonna do anything, and even a tribute was kind of like you're just gonna play a couple of notes of a song, like you know, that's your tribute, you know. But they still did it, and so I think if he was part of that whole sound, I guess, and that's why I think, yeah.
I mean, and there may have been new material, whatever.
True,
you know,
true that, yeah.
It's something though, but he was seen dead. Snoop Dogg said he went to go see him, and he had no words. He wasn't speaking. He was dying or dead.
He was trying to fight. All the way up to hitting, and that's what he was like. If I come out of this one, they're really going to feel the wrath and think I'm invincible, you know. And you know, because he had already gotten shot, you know, a couple times. I mean, all right, okay, yeah. So that's a no. Tupac is not alive, living in Cuba right now, right? So all them pictures we see on social media, that's somebody who looks like Pac.
Yeah, you know, right? Everybody got a Doppler somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so we're gonna move on to number 4. Number 4 is really weird because I never seen this one before, and I just saw the actual Jimmy Kimmel.
What was number 3?
Number 3? That was number 3. So number 1 was Gucci Mane. Number 2 was Jay-Z's in the Illuminati.
Oh, okay.
Number 3 is Pac Still Alive. Number 4 is gonna be Suge Knight gave Eazy-E AIDS.
Hold on, one second.
Conspiracy. Okay. We pausing.
Yeah. Hello? Hey.
Okay, now number 4. Suge Knight gives Eazy-E AIDS. Now, I saw a YouTube video with Kid Frost, right? And this is for La Raza. Remember that dude?
Yeah.
Kid Frost. So Kid Frost is giving this interview, and I don't know if it's Vlad TV or what outlet it is. I think it was Vlad TV, and he's talking about that how Eazy was being really weird about everything up until the point where he died. He kind of alludes to the fact that there was some sort of conspiracy that he was given AIDS, but Kid Frost was saying that it was given to him when he went to the doctors for something, and it's that really didn't make no sense to me because I'm like, why, right? So the conspiracy on this one is that he died of AIDS, right? We know that, and that Suge Knight was trying to get Dr. Dre get him out of the contract. That's another thing that we know, right? We also know that Suge Knight used to drive around LA trying to punk everybody out their publishing rights, right? We heard about Vanilla Ice. We heard what he did with Eazy-E, and just recently someone else said something.
That was me.
You told me that.
I read the Will Smith book, and he doesn't his name. He doesn't mention his name, but there's a section in there where when he started doing the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air down in Hollywood, he said that he was getting these calls. He never named who it was, but that person was just saying on the phone, I need a piece of that Will Smith money, you know? And, you know, so that
which is funny. Yeah, we're going to read the book. I actually think that's going to be one of the episodes we do.
Yeah. But he doesn't say he doesn't say my name, but you just get the feeling right off the bat. That's fucking Suge Knight. He's just
well, trip off this, man. that's what Vanilla Ice said. He said to him, I need
Yeah.
some of that Ice Ice Baby money.
Yeah.
That's the same words. Same words. So
Yeah.
all right, that's a whole nother discussion. All right,
Yeah.
but I mean, I didn't know about all this, but I just thought that Chug went over there and beat Easy up with a bat. That's kind of what they show in the movie.
Right.
Just studying their history, I kind of already knew that was kind of what was floating around in interviews and shit. That's what was going on. But the shocking part about this conspiracy is that although Easy died of AIDS, however, his girlfriend and children did not test positive for AIDS, right? Mm-hmm. So I guess that's what this particular, and then I'm going off of something I got online. It's just the top 5, and I thought they were all 5 interesting. So I'm like, cool, this is it. I'm just gonna go off of this.
Yeah.
So I mean, with that said, we know Shug is crazy, man. He's in jail for running people over with his car. Like he's not above any of it. And so when he was on Jimmy Kimmel, he said it. He like literally says it in the interview. Right. He said there's other ways, because Jimmy Kimmel comes out with a vest on, a bulletproof vest, and he says, oh well, there's other ways to get to you,
Yeah.
And then he kind of says, like that like giving Easy AIDS or something like that, and he kind of says that, and even Jimmy Kimmel's like, oh, like, whoa, you just said that, on TV. Now, I mean that would be cold way to do somebody, right? Now, I don't know, man. This one kind of messes with me. I mean, I feel like I need to do a little bit more research in it. I know you're about to shut it down right away, well, but I kind of want to know why this is number 4 on this list.
Well, because he died of AIDS, first of all.
Yeah.
But I think, I don't know any of the people in this situation. I've met nobody. I don't know any inside stories or anything. But I don't have no problem with believing that Sugar's a troll, first of all. So this story definitely makes sense that it would have been started. If it's untrue, it makes sense that something like this would have been started because he died of AIDS. And shortly after this whole thing transpired with, Dre and Suge came into the picture and all of that stuff, I don't think that it's a big thing. I mean, AIDS was fresh at that time. People were getting it, and not knowing, so which led to the progression of it, I don't think.
Go ahead.
Just because his wife didn't get it, Magic Johnson's wife didn't get it either.
Yeah.
So it doesn't always 100% mean that it's going to be transmissible or transmitted.
And then we also, I mean, if you are any type of fan of NWA, which I am, from the very beginning, from Panic Zone and 8 Ball. You know what I mean? From Fat Girl. Remember they had that song, Fat Girl. Oh my God. I mean, these are horrible songs. I'm sorry, people, but that was on the original 12-inch that they had with 8 Ball and the Panic Zone, right? So, anyways, so being that fan of it, we already know of NWA. We already know Easy was that he lived that life. And he was all his songs were about having sex, fucking everything. You know what I mean? Like, that was it. And that was some real shit. Like, they would said that he was a dog. Like, he would, if you was in the studio with him, he probably was having sex with you. As a female.
That's why it's not hard to believe that he contracted it on his own. And I'm sure, like I said, I think that the stories were just going around, all the conspiracy theories, and Suge is a troll on that. He's like, I'll, but I don't know. That would be pretty. That would be pretty nefarious. To come up with that type of, come over here and I'm gonna have somebody stick a needle with I mean,
yeah. Sign Dr. Dre to, let him out of his contract, or I'm gonna inject you with this AIDS infection.